Well, thank you for joining us. My name is BJ Murphy, publisher of Neuse and NeuseNews.com, and this is a continuation of our series of interviews with candidates. In this case, it'll be the Lenoir County Commissioners. But don't forget, early voting starts on October 15th, and Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd. And if you'll go ahead and bookmark 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 3rd, right here, our Neuse team will bring you a Facebook Live general election results show. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of information packed into that one evening. Our entire team will be here. I want to make sure you join us 7:30 on Tuesday, November 3rd. And we are joined right now by Tiffani Koonce-Crawford, who is running for an at-large seat with the Lenoir County Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. So tell us a little bit about you and why you're running for office.
Okay, so my name is Tiffani Koonce-Crawford. I'm born and raised in East Kinston. I went to Kinston High School, graduated 2005. Went to North Carolina Central University, came back home because my mom got sick, so I kind of had to figure things out. Not long after that, I started working for Lenoir County Sheriff's Office. I became a detention supervisor, field training officer, and a certified criminal justice instructor for the state of North Carolina. And in the midst of working for the Sheriff's Office, I got involved in local politics. I started volunteering for the NAACP, became vice president of the NAACP, criminal justice chair of NAACP. I actually founded an inmate voting initiative called Freedom on the Inside while I was there, so inmates that were in Lenoir County Detention Center could have access to the ballot. Sheriff Ingram was gracious to allow me to do that. But I actually ran for office because as an employee, I was impacted gravely by a decision that the Board of Commissioners made to switch from med costs to Blue Cross Blue Shield as a provider. I was in a meeting where deputies and detention officers and county employees, some of them weeping because of the drastic impact and of their take-home pay. And in that moment, I discovered that this is what happens when government is focused on the budget and when government is ran like a business only, and when people aren't considered first. You do have a duty to look at the budget. You do have a duty to look at those things, but people and the constituents, and in this particular case, county employees should come first.
Well, let's jump right into something that you would know a lot about. It's a question we've asked every candidate. In fact, all of them are, but this revolves around the idea of the hiring and retention at the jail as well as sheriff's departments. Give us your thoughts on what are some ways we can help solve that challenge?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm glad you mentioned that because I had a conversation with the county manager about that the other day. Back when I started for the sheriff's office in 2012, we never made a lot of money per se, right? But it's one thing about environment and culture and working together that can make a difference, and people just feeling appreciated and wanting to get a good morning from their leaders and wanting to feel like what they're doing is actually making a difference. So we never made, I was one of those employees. We never made a lot of money, right? But one thing that we can do, like I told the county manager, is look at some reward incentives. You know, if it's something small like a coffee gift card, and the train wants to beat me out right now, doesn't it?
You're good.
It's okay. But if it's detention officers and law enforcement officers love coffee. So if it's a coffee gift card, a Bojangle gift card, some type of small reward system, some type of way to connect with local media to recognize officers and deputies and county employees who are doing a good job. People will stay for less money when they feel appreciated. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing for me. Another thing is we do have to try to figure out, because the new people that are coming in, the younger generation, for them it is about the money. And when you can go work for Sheriff Paula Dance for about $10, sometimes $15,000 more dollars a year, it makes sense in the moment for you. Mm-hmm. So we do have to figure out how to get some of those competitive rates. I know it's a struggle for us because of our tax base, but we have to figure something out.
Well, and speaking of the budget, what are your plans for economic growth for all of Lenoir County?
So I'll tell you this. One thing I do know, and I'm going to shout him out again, the county did an amazing job hiring Mr. Michael to be their county manager. One thing that's really, really important that he discussed with me is the combining of their ED, or Economic Development Department, with the GTP, right? And this is a way for us to not only be marketed at a state level, but internationally. And it's going to bring people from outside to be able to come in and work with us, and also give jobs to people who are already here and give them those wages that they are actually looking for. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think the county is going in the right direction when it comes to that. But another thing we have to also look at is economic sustainability for small businesses and minority businesses that can't quite meet that benchmark, and removing some barriers to accessibility and longevity for them.
Well, and one thing is, you think about the tax base as well, that's hurt the tax base over the years have been the number of hurricanes, which we're no stranger to, and even the subsequent flooding that happens from that. What do you believe is Lenoir County's role to help mitigate flooding in our area?
Well, one thing we have to do is we have to partner with other local governments within our system that are being impacted. I know the city of Kinston, Mayor Hardy, and I think Senator Perry, they're in the works of working on some things. So what we have to do is come together as governing bodies to try to reach solutions and figure out the best way to move forward. Because this didn't just start with us. We've been dealing with this for about 20 years. Right. And our citizens are thinking, hey, it seems like we've been repeating this behavior over and over again, and we have to be reactive every year. And we're good at coming together as a community, right? But we need proactivity and long-term sustainable results to help change exactly what's going on.
And one thing that's been discussed for a long time, and maybe COVID just brought it a little bit more to the forefront, and that in terms of reliable internet access in our rural areas. A lot of kids have been at home learning virtually. I know teachers have been home teaching virtually. What are your thoughts on how to get a greater access to broadband, specifically in the rural areas of our county?
Well, the first thing is we can't continue to look at things like broadband as something that people should have to pay for. Our babies who have been behind because they didn't have that internet access, it can't continue to be about the money, right? We should look at it as what I would call more of a public utility. They should be able to have access to this regardless of their economic background, regardless of their parents' ability to pay. So to me, these companies that offer it should offer some type of free plan, at least for students. And I know that happened with Suddenlink. They offered a plan for kids, but if your parent had a bill or something, they would not honor that. So we have to stop allowing economics to be this dividing force between those who have and those who don't have. Internet access in 2020 should be a public utility. And as far as I'm concerned, it should be free.
All right, well, give everyone a chance to get to know you a little bit better, maybe a closing statement on your behalf. How can people get in touch with you as they get ready to head to the polls? Okay,
well, first thing, if you want to email me, you can email me at info@TiffaniKCrawford.com. And that's Tiffany with an I. My mom, they spelled my name wrong by accident, but they liked it. So that's info@TiffaniKCrawford.com. I just want to encourage everyone to get out and vote. And not only get out and vote, but not just vote for people who you like or people who you're comfortable with, right? This is the year to vote for people who may make you feel uncomfortable and who may think a little bit different from you. We've been running this community with leaders that we know and trust for a really, really long time. And I love all of those leaders. But it's time for a different perspective. It's time for somebody that thinks a little bit differently. I don't think nobody has ever ran that's exactly like me, that's in the season that I am in my life right now. So get out and vote. I hope that you vote for me because I'm willing to do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Crawford, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And also, I want to say a thank you to everybody who is watching. Certainly, this is your opportunity to get out and vote. October 15th is early voting, and certainly the general election day is Tuesday, November 3rd. And as I mentioned earlier, that night at 7:30 p.m. right here on Neuse, we will have a general election results show on Facebook Live. 7:30 p.m. Our entire team will be here. We'll go through. We'll have the graphics. We'll show all the results from that evening. And sometimes those nights go a little long, but we'll be here for the duration. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our daily newsletter. It's the Neuse newsletter. Just go to neusenews.com. It's free. You hit the subscribe button. All the day's headlines in your inbox every morning at 7 a.m. And all the information contained in our newsletter is free as our service to the community. And if you'd like, just recently we had a breaking news text alert. The governor mentioned 2.5 to phase 3. That was breaking news. And so if you haven't already, sign up for our breaking news text alert. Just text the keyword NN to 48444. 888-4848, and you'll be a part of our breaking news text alert as well. Ms. Koonce-Crawford, thank you for your willingness to serve and run for office.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here. And make sure everybody gets out and vote. And until next time, don't forget, Tuesday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m.